When we're young, we have an amazing, positive outlook about how great life is going to be, but somewhere along the line, we forget to dream and end up settling. Join Up Dots features amazing people who refuse to give up and chose to go after their dreams. This is your blueprint for greatness. So here's your host, live from the back of his garden in the UK, David Ralph.
England, 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 England. Yes, this week. I tell you what, that's a rubbish start to any show, because somebody might be listening to this show in 20 years' time and they think, well, that couldn't have happened. But England, the mighty England, have marched into the quarterfinals of the 2018 World Cup, and they're going to be playing Sweden on Saturday at the same time as a mate has invited me to a party. I'm sorry, I'm going to turn up late. You're expecting an empty house full of twiglets and peanuts crying for some attention until we turn up, because England are in the quarterfinals. Good luck to you, boys. You did well the other night, and you showed a passion. You showed a desire to go through the hard times, and I thought it was really inspirational and entrepreneurial as well, because that's what life is all about. And if you've listened to every single episode of Join Up Dots, which this actually almost was the last one, because this morning, I don't know if I've ever said this before, but it's happened a couple of times. I've almost been run over by people picking their nose while they're driving. Now, hopefully you're not having your breakfast at the same time, but there's a big rule that you're supposed to have a hands-free device so that you can take a phone call and not take it. I don't think it's half as sort of dodgy and dangerous answering your phone while you're driving as it is rummaging around in your nostril and bringing out what shouldn't be brought out while I'm crossing the road. And this old lady, she should know better. She's not at the peak picking capability when she can multitask. Missed me by a fraction this morning. Missed me by a fraction. So this could have been the last ever episode of Join Up Dots. You would just turn up and my voice would be coming live to you until there would be no more. And you'd be going, what's happened to Join Up Dots? And then you would just turn over to another podcast and get on with life. Yeah, but the old lady almost had me this morning. Anyway, what was I talking about? Oh, yes, passion and enthusiasm. I have been speaking to a few people this week, and they're really, really inspiring. There was a guy who's going to be on the show 1st of August, and his name is Rob Town. Rob, you are a legend, sir, and I salute you, and beers are on me. And we've already said that we will go into a pub and listen to ELO music on the jukebox for maybe 4 hours. Most of the songs sound the same, so after 10 minutes it will feel like a double win. But he is doing something. He's trying to create a program, as you'll hear on the show, where he helps musicians to meander their way through the world of murky business practices and just kind of pointing them in the right direction. He's had a life in the music biz, and now he's going into the sort of management route and the coaching of musicians. And one of the things that came out in the show, as you'll hear, is so many people are not willing to really develop their craft and really go through the times when no one is listening to you, when the only thing that's going to pull you through is passion. And it's certainly the case in podcasting. More often than not, in podcasting, most people don't get any listeners at all. Very, very few. It takes a while to sort of start rising up when somebody listens and then thinks, okay, that's all right. And then they probably won't listen again. And then they might come back and go, oh, he's still going. And then start listening again. And hopefully in that time, the person's improved and it's sort of moved on to where an audience starts coming to you. And not one artist out there, it doesn't matter if they're a TV presenter, a podcaster, an author, a blogger, whatever they're doing, there is a time when no one is looking in your direction and you are just doing it because you've got the passion for it. You really believe it can become something, and nobody's telling you it can. And more often than not, a lot of people are telling you it won't. And what's the point in doing that? And you're wasting your time. But you just have to put your fingers in your ears and go, no, 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 I can't hear you, no, 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 until they walk away. Now, I've always wondered what it must be like to be on an island. Say you go on an island and there's no one surrounding you, and you've got a laptop and brilliant Wi-Fi, and you've got somebody that comes and brings you food, and so you're pretty much covered. How much creativity could you do if there was no one surrounding you to say anything? Now, what people do, and they do it incorrectly, I think, is they spend a lot of time looking on social media where people haven't got the best interests in you and they're just giving their opinions, right or wrong. So I don't go on social media at all, except for Join Up Dots and my email group. That's the only places I go. I don't look at anything because I know there are many, many people out there that are going to say some horrible things about me, and I don't want to read horrible things. And a lot of people will say, yeah, you know, you've got to read them to sort of toughen up. I don't actually want to toughen up. If somebody says something horrible to me, no matter how tough we are, it still hurts. It still sort of cuts you to the core somehow. And more often than not, we listen to the bad stuff, don't we? There was that line in Pretty Woman. Do you remember the film in Pretty Woman when Julia Roberts said, I think to her other prostitute mate, the bad things are easier to believe somehow than the good things? It's just the way that we're programmed. So you need the passion. You need the passion to be able to cut through all the horrible stuff. You need to cut through all the times when nothing's happening. You need the passion to just keep on going and create something. And then another listener who's connected with me and is coming on the show, who is the brilliantly beautiful and talented Sarah Caltieri. Hopefully I've said her name right, but she's an amazing musician who has got her own album out, and she does acting, she does videos, she does music. And when I looked at her platform, I realised that there was so much to it that was just her just laying on her bed doing what she had to do. And how do you develop that? How do you become as good as you can be? How do you put the money into it to take your platforms, your music, your business, whatever, into the next level? It comes back to passion again, doesn't it? It has to. You can't do anything unless you have the passion for the task. So why is it so many people go for the get rich quick scheme? Because there's so many millionaires in the world who, you know, are miserable old so-and-sos. They've got all the money in the world, but they don't seem happy at all. Why are people just going for the money and not actually looking at something and thinking, how can I become the world's best at this? How can I become so good at this that actually it's not a task anymore? It's my life. It's my dream. It's my passion. And it all comes down to just doing it. Just doing it and doing it again and doing it again and doing it again and doing it again. There was a guy on Facebook. I don't know if you've seen him. You could probably Google him. That he was doing Rubik's Cubes while juggling. So he's got 3 Rubik's Cubes, and they're quite hard to do on their own. I've never done one, except I pulled it apart once and then put it back together to win a £5. I do apologise, and I shouldn't have taken the money off you, but I was young. I needed the money. And so what I did, I hit it with a hammer. It all fell to pieces, and then you can sort of put it back in. But this guy is juggling, right? So you've got a Rubik's Cube, got 3 of them, and he's throwing one up, and as he's throwing it up, he's like twisting it slightly to allow it to fly across to land in the other hand and twist while he's doing that, right? And not only is he just twisting them, he's actually solving it. So I don't even know how he learnt to do the first thing. I don't know how he learnt to do the throwing thing. I don't understand that. I just do not understand how you can learn unless he just sat there for hour upon hour upon hour, dropping it, picking it up, dropping it, picking it up, getting better and better and better. And that's it. He had the passion for the task. And Sarah Caltieri, with her album, which is brilliant, and there's a really good song on there, No More Tears, and I'm going to ask her if I can play that on the show. Brilliant song. She's got the passion. She's sitting there in her bed or on a sofa or whatever with her guitar, writing a song, and then she's got to get that song formalized and realized, and then she's got to give it to a producer, and then she's got to put money into it to actually bring it to the fore. And even at the end of that, nobody might buy it. You know, it's just that she wants to do it. So when was the last time that you did something that you really, really, really want to do, but you just can't be stopped? It's the thing that brings you alive, and you don't care about the money. You don't care how long it's going to take. You don't care if anybody's ever going to hear it. You don't care that there's going to be some kind of validation. You don't care that you won't end up on Join Up Dots. You will do. You will do. If you show some hustle, you will do. And give me a $5. Damn, I've done it again. I'm so cheap. I can be bought. And when have you done that? When have you done that thing that is just you and you want to become so good? So good. It's like making love, I suppose, thinking about that, making love. I think most people start and they're not very good. But over a period of time, they kind of want to become better. You know, I can't imagine anybody just sort of jumps on and goes, oh, that's as good as you're going to get and you should be grateful for it. You want to sort of become better and better and better. Why? Is it the validation of the other person or is it the passion for the task? I don't know. I don't even know what I'm talking about in that regard. And if there's families listening, ask your mum and dad, or just listen at the top of the stairs at the night. No, I shouldn't say that. I shouldn't say that. That's a terrible thing to say. So, passion in music, passion in creation, passion, whatever you're doing, it has to start within. It has to be that dream. And the dream takes time to get going. But every single one of you out there, you can do it. You can get the dream. You can go for it. You can make something that is incredible and will change your life forever. And it may not be ending up playing in Madison Square Garden, but it might be having a record on Radio 2 being played by Ken Bruce in the morning. Yes, hello there and welcome to Radio 2. You could do anything you want. But you got to start and you've got to want it. And so don't try to do stuff that other people are doing just because it looks good, because it's going to fail. Don't do something that's just going to be for the money, because it's going to fail. You've got to feel it in your heart. You've got to feel it in your soul, and you will know you're on the right track. Absolutely. Right, and that was the end of the show. I didn't have anything planned there, as you probably can guess. I just pressed record, but I've just been inspired by Rob, I've been inspired by Sarah, and I've been inspired by so many people that connect with me and just show me what they're doing. And I love it through Join Up Dots. I really do. It inspires me to keep on doing it and getting the show bigger and more audience so that I can bring your work to the world, and it can be a real groundswell. So if you're sitting out there and you're doing something and you're really passionate about it and you really believe in it, then send it through to us. Let's have a look at it and let's see about getting you on the show or promoting your work somehow, because, you know, that's what we're here for. Join Up Dots is a connection across the world between hearts and passions and ears, and every single one of you can get your work shared in 187 countries. Yeah, can you imagine that? People are listening to me in 187 countries, and I still can't get my children or my wife to listen to me when they're sitting right next door. Ooh, I need to work on it. Until next time, thank you so much for listening to this episode of Join Up Dots, and I will be back again soon, very, very shortly. Cheers, all the best, and go out and show the passion.
That's the end of Join Up Dots. You've heard the conversation. Now it's time for you to start taking massive action. Create your future, create your life. It's the only life you've got. And we'll be back again real soon. Join Up Dots, Join Up Dots, Join Up Dots, Join Up Dots. Join Up Dots.